What's up guys, watching TechAim. This is the iPhone 6 Plus, and this is the new Moto X, or Moto X 2nd Gen, whatever you want to call it, which is actually my favourite Android smartphone of September 2014. And today we're going to find out which is the best of the best, Apple's sleek looking iPhone 6 Plus or Motorola's sweetly designed Moto X. Let's take a close look. The Moto X is a nice average sized smartphone, quite comfortable to use with one hand, but the iPhone 6 Plus, it's a gigantic phone. I mean, I've held this phone and it's very difficult to use the phone without using two hands. But that's where reachability steps in, and what that is that when you double tap the home button, not press, the whole screen shifts down, making it easier to access the top part of the screen with one hand. And since it is a huge phone, it's obviously going to weigh more. So the iPhone 6 Plus weighs at 172 grams, whereas the Moto X comes in at 144 grams. Now the back of these phones, for the iPhone 6 Plus has a very nice feeling premium anodized aluminium back which curves off around the edge, making it feel almost like the iPod Touch 5th Gen with the stainless steel Apple logo. Also, the thing that makes the 6 Plus look really good is where the glass on the front curves off around the edge, making it kind of almost blend in with the metal. It just feels really good in the hands, but the Moto X is no less. It has a very well constructed aluminium frame around it, making it also feel like a very premium and solid phone. Wait, but the iPhone 6 Plus isn't solid. But one very noticeable thing on the back of the iPhone 6 Plus is the protruding camera lens, which is very annoying. But moving back to the Moto X, the back of the phone is customizable from a variety of different designs using Moto Maker. You can choose from different types of wood finishes, there are different colors of leather you can choose from, there are just tons of cool options you can choose from. And you can also change the color of the front of the phone to either black or white, and you can also change the trim of the phone. So Motorola is obviously giving us a variety of different options for us to customize the phone however we want, making it a suitable phone for everyone in terms of design. And the iPhone is available in space grey, gold and silver. Now the design and build quality are only two of the main factors which you look at when buying a smartphone. Obviously not all phones are going to be like the Nokia 3310. But the Moto X is still a very well built piece of tech. It is a nice size, looks very attractive, and I guess Motorola is just capable of making good looking devices, and the Moto 360 is just another example. And the Moto X also holds up well in bend tests, so for the design and build quality category, I think Moto X is the winner. In terms of ports and buttons and all that, at the bottom of the 6 Plus you will find your headphone jack, microphone, lightning connector and speaker. Quite interestingly, you will find your power sleep wake button on the right hand side of the phone, so it is now easier to reach than if it were on the top because, you know, the phone is so big. Along with the power button you will find your nano SIM card tray slotted into the device, and the volume rocker is on the left as usual. But moving on to the back of the phone, you will obviously find your camera next to the dual LED flash, and on the front of the phone you will find your 5.5 inch display, and underneath that massive display you will find your home button, which also contains the Touch ID sensor. And the top of the phone is just a flat surface. There's no buttons, nothing, as the sleep wake button has been shifted over to the right. But one downside about the buttons is that they're all made of aluminium, so they will be harder to get a grip on. I mean, they look good, but anyway, hopping over to the Moto X, you'll find nothing at the bottom apart from your micro USB for syncing and charging your device. Looking at the back of the device, there will be the camera, which is surrounded by the ring flash, and just below the camera there will be the Motorola Dimple, which is actually made of separate pieces which fit together compared to the last year's Dimple, which is blended in with the rest of the back. Turning the phone to the right, there is the volume rocker below the power button, which has a nice texture to it, so I'm guessing it would be better to press than the complete metal button found on the iPhone. And on top of the phone there is the 3.5mm headphone jack, and in front of the phone there are these tiny infrared sensors which surround the 5.2 inch display, which let you do this. And also at the front there is a speaker at the bottom. This phone does not have stereo speakers. Yeah, it's quite deceiving, I know. So what you see up here is a core speaker, so if you thought this phone had stereo speakers, well, now you know that you was wrong. And because of the front facing speaker, you'll probably get better sound experience than if the speaker was on the bottom like on the iPhone 6 Plus. So that's it for the ports and speakers and buttons and stuff. And Apple actually have been very thoughtful about putting the power and sleep wake button on the right hand side of the phone, making it Not a whole lot easier to reach, but it's quite fairly easy to reach. I don't know who the winner is for the ports and buttons and speakers and stuff, because all that is practically the same on both phones, so I'll leave you guys with the decision for that. What phone do you think won in the category? Just drop in your opinions down in the comment section below. As I said before, the iPhone 6 Plus has a huge display of 5.5 inches, which is actually rocking a resolution of 1920 by 1080, giving it a pixel density of 401 ppi. The Moto X, on the other hand, has the same resolution but on a smaller screen of 5.2 inches, giving it a higher pixels per inch count of 423 ppi. For the screen type, the iPhone 6 Plus has an LED backlit IPS LCD display, which is actually a very nice display from what I've experienced. The colour reproduction is great and has nice viewing angles as well. The Moto X, on the other hand, has a very oversaturated Super AMOLED display, so colours will just pop. I mean, blacks will look like proper dark blacks, which some people will like, some will not. If you don't mind the oversaturatedness of the display like me, then you'll be fine and have no problems. In fact, I actually think it looks a tiny bit better than the iPhone 6 Plus's display. The Moto X is also very smooth and fluid when navigating around the phone. Although it's not packed with the fastest processor out there, not packed with a lot of RAM, 2 gigs. This phone just flies when navigating around the phone, but that doesn't mean the iPhone 6 Plus lags. It also has a very nice screen resolution. It also is very smooth when navigating around the phone. But I'm trying not to be biased over here, but I think the Moto X is the winner here for the display as well. Now obviously everyone have their own opinions, so just drop me your opinions down in the comment section below. What phone do you think has the better display, the new Moto X or the iPhone 6 Plus? For the camera, the iPhone 6 Plus features an 8 megapixel camera versus the 13 megapixel camera found on the Moto X, so you can probably expect high quality pictures on the Moto X. But the thing is that the iPhone 6 Plus has larger megapixels, coming in at 1.5 microns compared to the 1.1 micron megapixels on the new Moto X. And because of that, there will be more light entering through the iPhone 6 Plus's camera, allowing for better low light pictures. And in contrast, the Moto X just cannot take good low light pictures. The photos took in low light on the Moto X does look very bad when compared to the low light pictures took on the iPhone 6 Plus. But anyway, both these phones have dual LED flash. The Moto 360 is capable of shooting 4K videos at 30 frames per second, which is incredible, with HDR on, which the iPhone 6 Plus cannot do. So that's the Moto X's advantage. But on the other hand, the iPhone 6 Plus's advantage is the ability to record 1080p videos at 60 frames per second maximum, so videos will be smooth on the 6 Plus, but lower resolution. And also, the iPhone's slow-mo feature is incredible. It records up to 240 FPS at 720p, which is just a feature that the Moto X doesn't have. And another advantage that the 6 Plus has is optical image stabilization, so videos will be just more smooth on the iPhone 6 Plus. I really do like the 4K UHD video recording option available on the Moto X, but I think for now 1080p looks great on a 1080p display. And by increasing the FPS, Apple have done a great job. And for the aperture, the iPhone 6 Plus has an aperture of f2.2, whereas the Moto X has an aperture of f2.25. So the camera numbers are great, there's no doubt about that. But the Moto X just cannot take good low light pictures, that's for sure. And moreover, the iPhone 6 Plus has focus pixels, allowing for faster autofocusing when recording video, so that's just another advantage the 6 Plus has over the Moto X. So for the photography category, I think the iPhone 6 Plus wins. Let's talk about internal specs now. So the 6 Plus is rocking Apple's latest A8 chip built on 64-bit architecture, which is clocked at 1.4 GHz, whereas the Moto X packs Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 chipset clocked at 2.5 GHz, which is amazing. Now the thing that a lot of people are interested in are benchmarks. So after the Geekbench 3 benchmark was run on both these phones, the iPhone 6 Plus battered the Moto X, giving a single core score of 1616 compared to the 1013 score given by the Moto X. However, the Moto X gave a multi-core Geekbench score of 3065 versus the 2906 given by the Apple iPhone 6 Plus. So we can see that both phones will have their own advantages and disadvantages. And for the RAM, the 6 Plus carries only 1GB of RAM, which is a real shame as most phones out there nowadays have at least 2 or 3 gigs of RAM, like the Moto X, which has 2 gigs of RAM. so it will probably be able to carry out certain given tasks faster than the iPhone 6 Plus, but I can't really be the judge of that, as it all depends on how heavily you're multitasking on your phone. And talking about multitasking, the more you multitask, the more battery is consumed, right? So the iPhone 6 Plus boasts a 2,915 mAh battery, just a tiny bit off the 3,000 mark, but the Moto X on the other hand has a 2,300 mAh battery, so you'll probably not get as much usage as you get on the 6 Plus, but everyone will have their own opinions again. NFC is available on both these phones, however, the 6 Plus is only limited to Apple Pay, which kinda sucks, but the good thing the 6 Plus has is Touch ID, the fingerprint scanner which many developers have already started to make use of by integrating it within their own apps. Finally, both these phones run completely different operating systems. Obviously, the iPhone 6 Plus runs iOS 8, whereas the new Moto X runs Android 4.4 KitKat, and both operating systems will have their own pros and cons. iOS 8 offers you with a very simple UI, which is very easy to master in just a few days, but there's barely any customization for you. Everything is very plain and simple and easy, whereas Android offers you with tons of cool features and settings for you to play around with, which I personally very much prefer, mainly because I've been using iOS for quite a few years and have gotten quite bored of it now. It's customizable from a variety of different options using Moto Maker. It's got a decent camera, not the best, but it's got a very nice processor though. It's very fluent and fast. But what phone do you guys think is the winner? The new Moto X or the iPhone 6 Plus? Just drop me your opinions down in the comment section below, and also tell me what phones you would like to be compared next, and be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.